What's up, Canada? This is Etienne from Signatures, and I'm just checking in on you. How are you? Do you know what day it is today? It is Friday, May 29th. Where did this week go? Where did this month go? I'm very excited about this weekend because I am starting my herb garden. My green thumb definitely needs work. So I'm starting off with small projects. I got a tiny balcony here. Very excited. If you're exercising your green thumb like I am this weekend, I want you to drop a green emoji in the comments. Please and thank you. What a sweet episode we had yesterday when we were joined by Kendall and Steve from Sadie and June. It was really fun hearing their awesome little love story that spans the US and Canada, music festivals. It was very cute stuff. I even got to reminisce with Steve, who happens to be from the same hometown that I am. Shout out Orleans, Ontario. So big thanks to them for joining us yesterday. And if you missed their episode or any previous episode of Just Checking In, hit up that link in our bio, people. Put on some Just Checking In the background when you garden this weekend. If you tap the link in our bio, you'll be taken to a YouTube playlist with all previous episodes. I'm seeing some green emojis in the comments, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right. What a guest we have for you today. My goodness, very excited. She is as lively and playful as the amazing candles that her company produces. She is a hashtag girl boss extraordinaire and a multi-hyphenate that succeeds at pretty much anything she attempts. The one and only Amanda Buhse from Canary is joining us on the show. So let's bring her in.
Hello.
Hey!
Hi, how's it going?
I'm well, my friend. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm good. Good to see your face again. It's been so
I
long.
know. Tell me about it. Sorry, I'm just trying to pin this comment so people know that I'm talking to you. Have you done lives before?
I have, yes.
They're thrilling, eh?
They're thrilling. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm always like recording them. I'm like, oh right, people are watching this. I can't just like
yes.
erase and go back and fix what I just said. So I have to be careful.
I know. It's really hard to like suppress my potty mouth at times. But
I love it. I love it.
The family show. So you're coming live to us from Winnipeg, is that correct?
Yes, I am in Winnipeg.
Okay,
very exciting.
So I need some backstory. Are you born and raised in Winnipeg?
I am actually, yeah. So I've been here my whole life. So awesome. Yeah, it's a good place to be. Like Winnipeg's awesome. Like it has an amazing maker community, as I'm sure a lot of people know. It's really supportive. You know, everyone wants to lift each other up. So yeah, it's been awesome being here and running a business.
Totally. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. We had Andréane on last week.
Yes.
Dive.
Love her.
Just an amazing fashion scene in Winnipeg.
It is, yeah.
Are there like misconceptions about your hometown that bother you? And can you
oh my gosh, there's so many. I mean, I think Winnipeg's just one of those places that like we just get forgotten about. I don't know, like we're in the middle of kind of nowhere. There's the closest city, like bigger city is Regina, which is a 6-hour drive. So I mean, we're in the prairies, and I know a lot of people gravitate towards like, you know, Vancouver, Toronto. I love those places, and I would totally live in those places. But there's something about Winnipeg being like an underdog that you just can't help but fall in love with. I know a lot of people like Winnipeg gets a bad rap, and people think, oh, you're gonna come and you know it's whatever scary. I don't know, but it's awesome. It's so awesome. It's a great, amazing place to be. So everyone should come and visit, and I'll hook you up if you come visit.
Totally. Thank you. I totally agree with that assessment. You guys gave me a really dope restaurant recommendation when I was there in December.
Awesome.
What was that place called? It had like the gold umbrellas on the roof.
Oh, Non-Such Brewing.
Non-Such.
Yes, so good. I love it there. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, very much so. And I can't wait to be back.
Awesome.
Okay, let's run it back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I want to know, before this amazing company, what was your career?
So before Colin Canary started, I was a graphic designer. And so I went to school, I went to college for graphic design and marketing and advertising. And I actually had worked in the field for about 10 years before starting Colin Canary. So I had a job, I worked my way up and I loved my job. I was one of those people, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I never had ambitions of, being my own boss. I actually didn't mind working 9 to 5. I was totally happy with that. But I was always very ambitious and really hardworking. And yeah, so I had a job for like a national fashion company, and I was the art director. So I had a big team of people underneath me, and I had a lot of responsibility. Oh, it's my phone. But yeah, no, it was a good job. And then Colin Canary kind of happened, and maybe we'll get into that. But it happened by accident, I guess. It just sort of happened and became a business, and the rest is kind of history. So.
Do you need to get that?
No, Jeff will get that.
Okay, perfect.
Don't worry. Sorry, guys.
All good, all good. So I love that we have sort of similar backgrounds because I also did graphic design and marketing, and I still
Nice,
do.
yeah. Yeah.
Where do you think your work ethic comes from? Like how you were able to rise through the ranks
Oh
before?
man. I honestly, like, my dad is just like me. Like we're hilarious in the fact that, like, we'll literally, like, it's go big or go home, right? So if my dad's building a birdhouse, he's like, it has to be the best birdhouse ever, like, we're just extra, I guess is the word I
Yeah,
like to use.
yeah,
Um So yeah, so when I started Colin Canary, Tom, my previous business partner, had asked me, like, you know what, do you want to get together and hang out more often? He got into making candles as a hobby for fun and got really good at it. And I was buying his candles at the time, and we were both working full time careers. And I said, you know what, Tom, like, these are awesome, but the packaging is not the best. And he knew that. And he's like, I know, I know, I know. He's like, I can't afford to hire someone. And so he said, hey, we're best friends. Do you want to maybe get together once a week at your house in your kitchen, and I'll bring the wine, and we can make candles together, and you can do the packaging for me, and that'll be like our 50-50 thing. And I was like, that sounds awesome. So that's
yeah.
kind of where it started from. But with my the way that I am, even though it was a hobby, when we were getting together once a week in my kitchen drinking lots of wine, I was like, this has to be the best hobby ever. And so I did all this research to see what was being done and what wasn't being done in the candle market. And we kind of found this niche audience. And so we went after them. So yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And here we are. And big shout outs
And
to
here we
Tom.
are. Yes, of course, of course.
And big shout outs to the wine that fueled you guys. I love that you had to emphasize every time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Where did the name come from?
Yeah, so we get that a lot. So Colin Canary, the name is based on the story of the miners that used to go and test the air quality. So it sounds morbid, but it has like a positive, I guess, twist to it.
Yeah.
So the miners would bring the canaries down to test the air quality in mines. And if it was bad, the canary unfortunately died, but they had time to get out in time to save the miners and themselves. So it's a play on words because the ingredients we use are a lot better for you. And so the canary survives and then thrives, which is why there's two canaries in the logo.
Gotcha. Love
Yeah.
it. Love this history lesson.
I know, right?
So, like, all these playful names, all these brilliant names, like, who comes up with them for the candles themselves?
Yeah, so it's pretty much it's me and the team. Like, we usually just sit in a room, and we have a
With
big
wine.
whiteboard with wine. We have a big whiteboard in my office, and so usually we'll start with a theme or a concept, and then we'll just basically go around a circle and throw out names that rhyme with certain things and try to put combinations together. But it always comes down to, I mean, obviously having fun and being, relatable. So for example, one of my favorite collections is called the Glamping Collection, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with glamping, the glamorous camping. So it's based and inspired by my experience going camping. So all three of the candles are very fresh smelling, very outdoorsy smelling. And so one of the names is Hiking Trails and Breaking Nails. We have Great Complexion and No Reception. So like all those types of things. And then the other one's Big Hair and Fresh Air, because I always have big hair. So
Oh, yeah, of course.
so that's kind of where it comes from.
Very cool. Very cool. How big is your team now?
It totally varies. Currently it's 2
Okay.
because of COVID. But
Yes.
normally it's around 15 to 23 is the highest we've ever had it. So typically, like, we'll hire seasonal staff during busier times. Obviously, as everyone's probably watching as a maker, most likely during show season and spring, and then obviously Christmas and fall, we bring in more people for production. So yeah.
I've met some pretty cool people at your booth over the years. Your lovely sister,
Yes, Tennille. Yes, she's
Neil.
actually pregnant. She's having a baby in less than a month. I
Oh
know
my
it's
God, you're gonna be
she.
an auntie.
It's crazy,
That is
right? It's
so
so
cool.
crazy.
Cool. And then another really cool person that I met at your booth, Olivia. She's kind of
Yes.
sort of famous now. How cool is that?
Oh my God. You know what's so funny? So, yeah, I'm sure people have heard of Olivia Lenny. She's just a little bit of a big deal now.
Yeah.
That was all me, guys.
Was it?
I'm totally no. She's amazing. But I knew Olivia went before she was famous. Back when, she knew who I was. But no, she's so amazing. She's so awesome. She obviously started with Canary, I guess 2 years ago, and she worked at a retail store, and then she also did some shows for us. And
Yeah.
I knew she was into singing, and she went to this audition for the voice, and so she went, and she ended up winning her little week. And yeah, anyway, so she's a superstar now, which is so
She is.
cool.
Big shout out to Olivia. We will watch
Big
her
shout
career
out.
with great interest.
Yes, she's amazing.
So with all this COVID craziness, you said you reduced your staff a bit. Like,
Yeah.
how has that been sort of navigating as a small business?
Oh my goodness. It's been crazy, as I'm sure everyone knows. It's been strange because we had no idea how it was going to affect our business in the beginning. It's one of those things where, I mean, obviously when it started kind of in other countries, you started hearing about it like 3 or 4 months ago, thinking, oh, how bad is it going to be? Is it really going to affect me personally? And actually the day we knew it was going to really go down was we were at a trade show in Regina, and they ended up shutting it down the day the show opened, 4 hours into the show. So I guess that's when the government decided that lockdown was in place and that it was going to happen. And the show was in Saskatchewan, and they went over on the PA system, and they said, you know what, shoppers and exhibitors, we're really sorry. We just got word from the government that we are now in lockdown and the show is no longer allowed to take place. Thank you for coming. Please pack up and leave immediately. So that was pretty crazy and surreal, and we never expected that to happen.
No.
So so we just shut down and then drive home. And so that's when we said, okay, this is now a thing. And then from there, obviously, unfortunately, every trade show obviously had to be canceled or rescheduled. So I mean, that's a big part of where we normally make a lot of our income and revenue to afford buying product for fall winter. So that was really stressful. And then obviously we have a store as well in Winnipeg that closed as well at the same time. And then full lockdown happened where, and at our warehouse, a lot of our staff are production staff, and their job is to make candles. And with the lockdown, they weren't allowed to actually physically be in this office. So we unfortunately had to lay off every single one of our staff. So my husband, Jeff, actually does now work for me. So because we're quarantining together, him and I have basically been keeping the company going. But the really interesting thing is that we have always relied on the trade shows, on wholesale sales, on the store. And our retail direct to consumer online sales have always been our smallest, area of revenue, because for many reasons, shipping can be expensive, and it's a product that you have to smell before you know if you like it or not, which is why trade shows work really well for us. So we were really scared because we had no idea how our sales were going to be. The interesting thing is our sales are up from last year because which is amazing.
Yes.
So we're super grateful, which we didn't expect. So, and of course this all happened after we had to lay our staff off, which again was a blessing and a curse. So, so Jeff and I have been doing 12 to 16-hour days every single day.
Small
So
business life, eh?
exactly. So we basically live here. And I actually joked about putting a bed in here. I was like, Jeff, why don't we just literally just stay here? Like this, we'll just quarantine in this whole office. So yeah, it's been awesome. We're so grateful because I know there's other businesses that are not in that boat and that are suffering. And so again, we're super grateful that we are very busy, which has been great.
Good. So there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely,
That's good.
absolutely. Yeah.
I want to talk about you. I want to make you blush a little bit.
Oh my god,
Just
can't wait.
because every time I come across you guys on social or if I'm on your website, I'm just astonished at the level of success that you guys have seen over the
Oh,
years,
thank you,
and
thank
you
you.
specifically. So I'm going to start listing off a few pretty cool accomplishments that you've
Oh my
achieved.
god. Okay, okay.
Spirit of Winnipeg Award winner,
Yes,
Woman Entrepreneur of the Year award, Hala. You're a
thank you.
speaker at the GEM conference. Your products
Yes.
have been featured in the Globe and Mail, Air Canada magazine, WestJet magazine, Forbes, Good Morning America, and this is the craziest one: swag bags at the Oscars and Emmys. No,
And
Grammys.
Grammys, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
know,
so
I know. Thank you.
can you pinpoint like your proudest accomplishment out of all of that, or more?
Oh my god. That's hard to say. I mean, thank you for talking about those all those things. It's weird because like the Grammy and Oscar thing happened 3 months after starting our hobby in my kitchen. So that was our 10-year goal, and we accomplished it in 3 months. And we weren't even a real like we were a business, but it was a hobby still. And so that was pretty nuts. And so when you accomplish your 10-year goal in 3 months, it's like, well, what do you do after that? So
Right.
which is amazing, it's been so cool. I mean, I guess the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year, I guess, would be the coolest one. It still hasn't really sunk in. It was the most recent one that happened just this past year, which is pretty crazy. So yeah,
I
that's
think
probably the one
Jeff
I'm
is
the
gonna.
most proud of.
I think Jeff is gonna have to build you a bigger trophy case.
Oh my god, my dream is to be like the toddlers and tiaras girls. It's like, this is my pageant wins, you know.
Just a whole wall of ribbon.
There's my whole wall. No, my gosh. No,
Oh,
but it's exciting. And we don't do, I mean, I don't do it for the accolades or the awards. Like and I think that's the part that's kind of weird because I don't do it for that reason. I just do it because it's fun and it's a challenge and keeps me busy and out of trouble. So if things
good.
happen, then that's awesome.
Well, we love to see it. We love to see it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And can you tell us the story about your Instagram being hacked?
Oh my God. Okay. So I, to this day, have PTSD every time I log on to Instagram because of this. So a few months ago, I think it was February, I was at my cabin and it was one of the long weekends. It was, I think, Sunday night this happened, and the Monday was a holiday. And we have terrible reception at my cabin. And so I finally managed to get enough internet where my phone, checked the email, and it updated, and I have this email, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and it's this like hacker email essentially saying, we have your Instagram account now, and if you want it back, you have to pay us like X amount of dollars. So they're basically, yeah, they're just, yeah, hacking us. So that was fun. And of course, they wanted the money within 24 hours. And we had to pay them via Bitcoin. Like there's all these like,
Whoa.
specific details. So yeah. So I immediately go into like panic mode. I'm freaking out. It was the craziest feeling. And the thing is, I know it sounds dramatic because it's like, oh, it's your Instagram account, social media. But when you're a small business, and everyone I'm sure knows this, that is your lifeline, and that's where your customers are, and your future customers. And we've worked so hard in the last 6 years building our Instagram page, and we have full-time staff that are basically just their job is to do Instagram. We have an Instagram room in our office. Like
Oh,
it's
I love
so
that. I
I'll
need to
show
get
you
me one of
after. I'll
those.
show you. I'll show you. It's really fun. Anyway, so it was devastating, and I cried. I was trying to figure it out. You're trying to problem solve. And of course, you don't have great reception. So I'm trying to email these people who I think were in maybe Russia, saying, I'm at my cabin. I don't have access a way to pay you right now. Anyway, long story short, we tried to pay them. We ended up paying them, and they took our money and ran, and they did not give us our account back. So that was devastating. And the problem with that too is like the police can't do anything because they didn't actually like. There's no proof. It's really really complicated. So it's just devastating. So, anyways, luckily the people of Instagram, or the people of Instagram and Facebook, are amazing. We posted what happened. We started a temporary new account. trying to rebuild our audience really quickly. So we ended up getting about 3,500 followers in like 24 hours, which is incredible. A lot of people message saying, my friend had this happen and they're an influencer and this is who they talk to. So thank God we had 4 or 5 influencers email us saying they use the same person. So we messaged him, told him the situation.
He's the guy.
Luckily, he's the guy. He is the guy. So took him about a week, but he somehow magically managed to get it back, and I am forever grateful. But it was one of the worst weeks of my whole life, and it felt like a death in my family. Like it just felt like it's like your baby that's just gone overnight in a blink of an eye,
Well,
so
I hate to bring those memories back up.
Thank you, Etienne. I'm like, oh.
I was more interested about this like mysterious shadow figure that reinstates the Instagram pages.
Yeah, it's crazy,
what a
right?
job that is.
It's insane. I know. So I'm just so happy he was able to get it back, because I know there's some people that haven't had it be able to come back. So super grateful. Don't take your Instagram for granted. I've learned that it is something that you don't own. It's something that you don't own. Yeah, it's just there, and it was unfortunate, but I'm very happy we got it back.
Me too.
Yeah.
Can we take a peek in your Instagram room?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here, I'll give you guys a little mini tour.
Okay, sweet.
Can I? Oh, here we go. You're like my mom. Like, how do you turn this thing around?
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so this is our office. So when you walk in, there's my 3 awards.
Yes. Bravo.
So here's our kind of like front area, reception room.
Very cool.
There's some offices back there.
Have you always been a fan of the color pink?
Yes. I know, it's not pink at all, right?
No.
It's very subtle. Yeah. So the Instagram room's not complete. We just kind of started it, but this is where we do all of our photo shoots. So we have all different colored walls. I'm going to try and back up. All around. And there's like props, and here's our little like.
You do product shots, but you also do like portraits.
Yeah, we kind of do a mix of a lot of different things. Yeah. But it's not done yet. We're gonna. What's that?
Who does the photography for you guys?
Currently, it's myself, and then we have a photographer that we also use, just like kind of on a contract basis. So she's awesome.
And this is
Pancakes. Happens. Yeah, this is Pancakes. He's our shop dog.
Hello, you're beautiful.
He normally has a little Cole and Canary t-shirt on, but he's not wearing it right now. But yeah, we have a little coffee station. We use our old trade show displays as like, I guess, props in the office. Yeah, so we have like a little lunchroom. So everything in our office is themed. So we have our Glamping Collections. This is our glamping inspired lunchroom. So it's all camping theme.
Beautiful.
Yes, this is where the magic happens. This is where we pour all of our candles. And this is Jeff. I'll show you. He's busy pouring candles right now as we speak. So we can take you guys, I guess. Do you want me to show you how we make a candle?
That would be amazing.
I don't know how much time we have, but.
Oh, I've got all day. We're allowed an hour on live. So.
Okay, look at this cinematography.
It's like watching a tasty video.
Exactly. So basically, we weigh our wax and our fragrance for every batch that we pour. So we pour them in batches of 7 at a time, just because that's how much wax fits really comfortably in the pouring pot. Yeah. So it's very time consuming, but it's a labor of love. Of course. And we go through, and one by one we will pour them, and then eventually they'll start to harden. And we actually go through into. It depends on the temperature, but typically it goes pretty quick, actually. So I would say like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Okay. It actually takes about 24 hours before the scent fully cures. Like, so when you first get the candle, even though it looks like it's hard, within the first, 24 hours, it won't smell as strong as it will after that. But yeah, so we'll go through, and then once they're like middle of the road, hardening up, we'll go through and individually like adjust every single wick to make sure it's straight.
Oh wow.
And before he actually poured them, we have to go through and obviously safety label the bottom of every label or every jar. Yeah. And then we have our wick, so our wooden wick, which is made of cherry wood, so it crackles like a fireplace. And we put the wick in the actual wick clip. So that's another job we have to do.
Oh boy.
And then we have to then we have a little glue dot that sticks on the bottom that keeps it in place. So there's a lot of steps. Indeed.
A labor of love.
Absolutely. And
Um,
then once it's
you
done, we box it up.
amazing. How
Yeah, here, I'll
many
turn you back.
candles? What's the most candles you've produced in a day? Do you think?
Oh my gosh. Uh, Jeff, what's the most candles we've produced in a day? Do you think? Probably like 700 or 800 right now, but like hand pouring in
Incredible.
batches of 7 at a time. So
Incredible.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
crazy.
Um, can we talk a bit about your Instagram game? Because as people know, it is top notch, and we're
Thank
seeing a lot
you.
of your followers join us today. So hello to you all, and thank you for joining us.
Hi guys.
So how instrumental has it been in your success, and how do you stay engaged with your followers?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's very instrumental in our success, which is why I was devastated when it got taken away from me. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to say it's everything because it's not everything, but it's a lot of it. I would say like 75% of it. Again, just because with Instagram, I mean, it's so easy to reach new customers, to reach new markets. It's just incredible. And then if you obviously advertise, that's multiplied. So it's the way that I think business is done nowadays for a lot of product based businesses that are trying to market themselves towards a slightly younger demographic. I think it's really important. So yeah, and then as far as staying relevant, I mean that's always the challenge because we've been referred to many times as a trendy item, and that's cool,
How
but it's
dare they?
also terrifying. How dare they? How dare they? But it's true, and it's a challenge and it's scary because obviously nowadays with social media and the just the pace of the world, people get bored so easily. So it's the constant challenge we have is how do we stay relevant? How do we stay top of mind? So we do lots of different things. We try to get creative, try to find really fun ways of interacting with our customer that's just beyond buy our candle. So anything we can do that's interactive is always awesome. Something that we did during COVID that was really successful is we had a coloring contest. And so we actually created like a line drawing and a coloring sheet of a candle and a candle box that was plain. And we threw out the challenge to our followers and said, hey, like while you're at home, instead of getting bored, get creative and, design your own Coal and Canary candle. And the winning design actually was made into an actual candle. And so we just released it yesterday.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so we made 100 of them. So it was really cute. And we had so many entries. Like I want to say we had over 500 entries. And they were so fun and people loved it. Like they're like, this is amazing. Like this really kept us going through, through this quarantine. But again, it wasn't telling people to like buy our candle, but it's still keeping the brand top of mind.
For
So
sure.
little things
Sure.
like that, I think, are being creative is
Yeah,
important.
and the Instagram room doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna put the subject matter expert hat on you for a second because you've spoken
Sure.
at conferences before. What do you think brands should be doing on Instagram and on social media right now to stay relevant?
That's really good. I mean, I think being really authentic. I think that's the number one thing you can do. Putting yourself out there and putting a face behind, showing, I guess, peeling the curtain behind your business,
Humanize.
and giving people, yeah, and humanizing the feed. Um, I think a lot of people feel intimidated sometimes to put themselves out there or scared or nervous. And I always tell people like that's the best thing you can do. Even if you feel you come off as shy or quiet or awkward, people love that. People want to know who the real you is. And I think for us, like from the very beginning, we didn't just want to be that generic candle that's on a shelf. We didn't want to be like a lavender candle, where you go to a store and you buy it and you have no idea who made it. You have no idea the effort it took to make it. We really like to expose it and show that side of who we are. We're not just a candle. We're people that are coming and making this product specifically for your living room. And so when you're burning one of our candles, oh, Amanda and Jeff and their team made this for me. So it's not just a Coal and Canary candle off the shelf. I think that's probably the best advice I could give. Just do Instagram stories with yourself or your employees and your staff. Show behind the scenes just people like to see who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for
Hmm.
sharing that insight. I'm sure a lot
Yeah,
of
of
brands will
course.
be taking notes.
Yeah,
And I want to get nerdy with you for a second. From,
perfect.
from like a design standpoint, like
Yes.
how did you develop the Coal and Canary aesthetic, and what's your process like when you're designing like a new packaging, for example?
Oh, I love this. I've never had this question before. That's way to go. That's a great question. Oh man, I mean, it's interesting because again, like I come from a background where I worked for many different types of companies. I did freelance for a long time. So I actually used to design some flyers for like Ford trucks,
Cool.
which is complete 180 opposite from
Yeah.
Cole and Canary. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just all bubblegum and rainbows, but I
You're
think for
not?
me, like I know, shocking, right? For me, I what I love about the design process is the psychology. So I love the challenge of, getting a project and if it's a branding project or whatever else it is, going into who the consumer is, who the customer is, what are their habits, where do they live, where do they buy coffee, what kind of car do they drive, all those things, putting all that in your head. It's almost like acting, and then absorbing it all, pretending you're that person, and then going from there. So projecting whatever's inside and putting it on paper. So it's really fun. And I think, when it comes down to fonts or colors, all that type of stuff, like it's all about what that person wants to see, like what would appeal to them. And I've done stuff for hunting lodges and like you name it, like it's so fun. And I just love that challenge. So for Cole and Canary, we were very specific and intentional about our branding. We had a very targeted, I guess, customer. We call her the Cole and Canary girl. Her name should be like Jennifer, or I don't know, some basic name.
But it could also be a guy.
It's definitely. But for us, we specifically chose this female customer because she's our prime customer. So
Yeah.
not to say that we don't sell to, a slightly older or even a younger demographic or men as well. We do. But we wanted to be very specific in exactly this one person that we were targeting. That's our dream customer. And so we wrote out, on a whiteboard, we actually wrote everything about her life. So we said, where did she go to school? What type of school does she go to? Or what kind of clothes does she wear? How does she do her hair? Does she do her hair? Does she, all these little things you don't think about. But at the end of the day, it really kind of forms this person. And that's who your customer is, right? You have to know who you're selling to. So it might not be me, but it's this person, So at the end of the day, and it kind of boils down into everything, not just your branding, but it helps solidify any question you might have. So if we're coming up with a new collection and we say, I really like this design or I like this smell better, it's not what I think is best, it's what does she think is best, and that affects everything. So I think whenever people are starting, companies or have a question about a branding question or whatever it is, think about who your customer is and not always what you think is best.
And I'm sure that's why you guys still do shows, right? It's pretty crucial for like face-to-face feedback, so that you can take
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. Like I love doing shows. It's my favorite thing to do. Because I love to meet my customer, and
Yeah.
usually it's exactly who's on that whiteboard.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's also great, seeing like the actual boss of the company come still doing shows.
Yeah,
You don't
absolutely.
see that with every
Absolutely.
company. But what is your favorite Canadian city to visit?
Ooh. Um, I have oh, this is hard. I love Toronto. I
Yes.
love Toronto because
Yeah.
I'm like a big city girl. Winnipeg's a little small for me, but I also love it for many different reasons.
Mhm.
Toronto's awesome. I have a lot of good friends there. I love the hustle and bustle. I love Vancouver just for the aesthetic. The mountains are gorgeous. But I also do what's really weird. I love Saskatoon. I'm gonna give
Oh, me
Saskatoon
too.
some love
Me
right now.
too. Yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
fun. It's like this, like it's kind of reminds me of a smaller Winnipeg where it's really hip. It has a really cool scene, and the food scene's really amazing there too. So I would say between those three, and obviously the East Coast is amazing too. Yeah,
Awesome.
there's lots.
Great diplomatic answers. I like
Thank
it.
you, thank you.
What is your at shows? What is your like guilty pleasure for food vendors?
Oh my god. Don't judge me. Oh man, you guys, I'm gonna be totally honest and tell you the truth. I wish I could say that I brought my own lunches and had like a salad with like 8 bottles of water. No, I mean, I'm all about like the pizza, like at a show. I mean, I'm like, you know what? I'm here, I'm working hard. I'm just gonna treat myself.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like any of like I mean all the food's amazing at shows. But yeah, like pierogies. Oh my god, pierogies. I'm gonna go with pierogies. It's probably my
Okay.
favorite. Yeah.
Solid answer. Solid answer.
Yeah, very healthy.
All right. We're gonna play a game
Perfect.
called Explain That Gram.
Oh, I'm
We we
terrified of this.
we did a deep dive on your personal account, your Finsta,
Oh my
and
god.
so
I'm
we're
like
gonna pull up.
blushing now. I'm like now I'm nervous. Okay.
No, they're great. They're very colorful. So we're gonna
Yes.
pull up a few, and if you can give us some details, some background info, some stories.
Yeah.
Here comes the first one. Boom.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This one was fun. So this was at the Museum of Ice Cream in New York City.
Oh wow.
This was actually just this past year. So we went to New York Now trade show, which is like a huge wholesale show in New York City. And yeah, they have this like really cool interactive museum. Basically, it's like Instagram heaven. So you just go and there's all these different theme rooms. So
Right.
this is my queen bee. Queen bee.
Love it.
I'm
Love
just
it.
gonna give you that.
Okay, perfect. Next one, because I wanted you to talk about pancakes.
Aw. Okay, so this is Pancakes. He's our fur baby, aka Shop Dog. And yeah, it was really funny. So this is at the ball game in Winnipeg, and the Winnipeg Gold Eyes. And they once a year they have a game, and it's basically meant for dogs. So everyone has to bring a dog, and yeah, it's just all in support for charity.
Oh,
So we went and took Pancakes, and he made lots of friends. So it was a very fun
oh,
day.
all the warm and fuzzies there.
All
Love
the
it.
warm and fuzzies, yeah.
What about this
Oh
one?
my god,
Is that a real book?
that's a real book. So that this is I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Orlando Soria, but he's an
From
amazing.
HGTV.
Yes, yes. So this is before I guess he did his HGTV stuff. I've been a huge fan of his before, and I've been following him for years. So he does interior design. He's obviously amazing, fabulous, and wrote this book. And I happened to go to the Girl Boss conference in Los Angeles 2 years ago. And when I was in LA, he was actually there doing a book signing. So I ended up going to West Elm, and he was there, and I got to meet him, and we had conversations, and I met Jen Gotch, and I met a bunch of people. So it was very, very cool experience. It was very
That's good.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, more celebrities on the way. What about this one?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, this one actually was it was actually it was like a media launch event in Winnipeg. So Jessie Cruikshank, obviously, she's amazing.
Love Jesse.
Um, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then obviously Stephen and Chris. So they were there. They had some celebs from CBC, and
Nice.
we were super excited to be invited to go and hang out with them.
That's cool. We love the
Yeah,
Canadian celebs.
I
All right,
love Canadian
we're
celebs.
going way back in the chronological order here.
Oh my god.
This is brilliant,
Isn't that great? This is my proudest moment of my whole
isn't
life.
it? Oh my.
You guys have no idea how much work this costume to put together. So this is when I worked. This is actually the job I had before I started calling Canary, and yeah, so I worked in the design department for this fashion company, and my team was amazing. And it was a huge company, and every year, obviously, we had a costume contest between departments. So my department, being very, go big or go home, we have to win types. We said, well, we have to become real size Barbies. So we went further, and then obviously each of us had a theme. So we have Trainwreck Barbie on the left there. I was 80s Tastic Barbie, and then there was Geek Chic Barbie. So if you like, people can't see it, but if you actually like zoom in a lot too, there's like even like little kind of pre-Colin Canary sayings that I came up with,
Oh,
which could be
nice.
candle names. So I mean, mine was like what bright blazers and neon lasers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah,
Have you
it
ever
was
considered a
actually
rap career?
I should. The only rap I can do, to be totally honest, is embarrassing. Is the one from TLC Waterfalls. That's like
Oh,
my
amazing.
pride and joy. Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
That was
so this is our
actually
Barbie costume.
that was actually on my list of questions because on your bio you say that you're a singer, so I wanted to know
I
what your
am.
go-to karaoke song was.
Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you. Yeah. So actually singing is like my number one like passion. Like I love, love, love singing. If I could
Nice.
be a singer full time, I would do that in a heartbeat. But yeah, no, I would say my go-to is Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You.
Ooh,
That one won me. I actually, well, I don't want to be like, I hate saying
no,
things that are like
go off.
braggy. So the last 2 years, I won first place in Manitoba for the karaoke contest, and then I got flown to Toronto for the nationals, the
Oh,
championships,
damn.
and I came in second place. Though both years I didn't win, but I came second in Canada. So that with
Good.
that song,
Maybe you and Olivia should do a duet sometime.
we've talked about it. I said
Oh,
Olivia, this is before she won. I'm like, if you
right,
win, don't
right.
forget I also
Before she was
sing.
Big Ten. Okay,
Exactly,
I got
exactly.
two more from the gram to
Okay,
pull up.
perfect.
Uh, one of which, like, let's show Jeff some love.
Aw, this was my mom's 60th birthday party. So this
Oh,
was at our
nice.
house. And yeah, we had like a 1920s Great Gatsby theme. It was
Nice.
very fun. Yeah, that was when his beard was like really, really giant.
For
He's
sure.
since shaved it a little bit, but
Oh, disappointing.
very disappointing. He'll regrow it.
Okay, and lastly, probably my favorite.
Oh my
There we go.
gosh. Look how cool I used to be. What
Yeah.
happened? This is what owning a business this is what happens. This is before I owned a business and I had lots of fun and time. Yeah, no, this was one of my best friends. He lives in Toronto, Jeffrey Nichols. He's amazing and very creative and did a lot of fashion creative photography. So he wanted to do just a fun photo shoot. So he had Jeff and I kind of be stand-in models for a day. And so he dressed us up and we had a crazy time. So
Amazing. That should be your album cover when you
oh,
do such
that there you
a deal.
go. Perfect. Done.
Cool.
Done. Love it.
I really appreciate you taking all this time out. I know you guys are super busy.
Yeah, it's all good.
Last two questions. For
Yeah.
those out there looking to support Cole and Canary, how can they still support Cole and Canary these days?
Yeah, for sure. So currently we're doing online orders. We're still offering temporary free shipping across Canada, which is a really good deal. And so yeah, colandcanary.com, and we have all sorts of really fun candles. We also have a new thing that we're doing that's our during COVID and going into summer. We're doing a new candle every Thursday at 11 a.m. and you can buy that candle by joining our VIP program. All you have to do is sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get a password to enter that VIP store.
Easy breezy.
Easy breezy.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
I love to ask this question. I get so many brilliant responses, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. So,
Oh my god.
Amanda Buhse,
Yes.
in life, in art, and in your heart of hearts, what is your signature?
Oh my gosh. Are you guys ready to realize how nerdy I am? This is it.
Yes.
Ready? I'm gonna get this. It's like that live, laugh, love. Live, laugh. Oh my god, I can't even talk. Live, laugh, love sign. So
Yes.
my signature is it's not your aptitude, but your attitude that will determine your altitude.
Oh,
Done. Put it on a sign.
outstanding. I
Put it in my
will. I will be
kitchen.
putting it on a post later today. Brilliant as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing such lively energy to the show this morning.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
And the tour was great. And
Thank you.
big love to Jeff. And we hope to see you guys again in the fall sometime.
Awesome. I know I miss all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I really, really appreciate it. I hope everyone's staying well.
For sure. And same to you. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.